Hello, everyone. It's Cherry. I'd like to welcome you all to our first Tuesday night live event for the 11:11 hour and Help Me Build My Business Australia Facebook group. Firstly, I want to start out by giving Zoe Wood, she's a member of our Help Me Build My Business Australia Facebook group. I want to give her a shout out. As soon as we planned to do these Tuesday night lives and posted it, she'd reached out to us, donated her time, her skills to make it amazing and look really cool. So thank you so much, Zoe. And also, Zoe helped us turn these lives into a regular podcast series for Spotify. So if you just search 11:11 hour on Spotify, it's just going to pop right up and you can listen there. So tonight, we would love for you all to take part in the discussion, comment, leave questions, tips, tricks, advice for Dayle. And we're going to pop them on the screen. Dale's going to see them and he'll be able to answer them during the live stream. So if everybody is ready, give me a thumbs up. And I will mute myself and pass it over to Tabitha and Dayle.
Hey, Dayle. How
Good to go, guys?
Yeah, we're ready.
How are you?
I'm really good. It's been an anxious wait for a Tuesday night live. How have you been feeling about it?
Very anxious. My first one ever.
Yes, same.
It's going to go. Well,
yeah.
It's all right. We can be anxious together, right?
Totally. That's right. So, Dayle, you are a psychologist, yes, at Cognitive Consulting Company. Yes.
Consultancy company. Yep.
Consultancy company. Yes. And what's a bit of your history? What have you done? Where have you come from?
Where have I come from? So you may be able to tell by the funny accent I'm not Australian. I moved over from the UK in 2017. Yes. Before I moved over, I completed a bachelor's and master's degree in forensic psychology. Ended up moving over here and working in a prison for a number of years. COVID hit, and for me that drastically changed the scope of my job. And like anybody else around here, we weren't allowed to, well, you guys weren't allowed to leave your houses, and we weren't allowed to engage with people inside prison, which...
Wow, that would have been challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Enjoy it, and ended up leaving that and setting up Cognitive Consultancy Company.
Yeah, cool. So tonight we're going to talk about, well, the link between strength and resilience and business. Being a business owner myself, I know that being stressed is part of the role sometimes, especially when you hire staff and you start businesses from scratch and all of that stuff. It comes with it, unfortunately. But there are ways to cope. That's what we're sort of touching on tonight. So, yeah, I think for me personally, Dayle, the hardest thing in business when it relates to stress has been staff. Staff for one. I know in our first business, Reovenized, staff was a big one. Finding the right people is a massive one. Thinking that I need to solve everyone's problems. That's, it's like I learned very quickly that not every client is for me or for our business. So there's that. That they've been my main things, and I've grown two businesses from scratch, like started it from scratch, and so they're the things that have been the biggest bother to me. What would you say to somebody in my shoes, say 5-6 years ago when I started our first business? What would you say to set myself up for less stress?
Something you spoke to a second ago was recognizing that you can't fix everybody else's problems. Actually, on your Facebook page a couple of days ago, Help Me Build My Business, I think it was, you shared a post of an iceberg.
Yeah, that was on Your Freedom to Choose. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, Your Freedom to Choose.
yeah, yeah. That's a
That
disability
is actually a
organisation.
picture with perhaps different words that I regularly use in a lot of my sessions, and I think it's a great diagram that illustrates. You can only see what's going on at the top
Yeah,
when with other people. Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
Likewise, it's actually a diagram that I use in my trainings too. What you don't see, and this is the point, is you don't see everything that's going on under the water per se.
yes.
Um,
Yeah, you don't see the late nights, the early mornings, the all-nighters.
Yep, the
Yeah,
stress that
yeah,
the kids give, you don't see the family dynamics that's happening. And
yeah, and the stress on a family, it's big time when you're trying to build a business. Yeah, yeah,
huge. And I think you've really nailed it. You've answered your own question in essence, is you can't fix everything.
true.
And I suppose a strategy that people could use, and not just concerned with business, is, well, one, recognizing that, but two, perhaps writing things down that are causing a level of stress. Something I quite like to do, write everything down that's causing a level of stress, anxiety, whatever it may be. Cross out what you're not in control of.
Mm, yeah,
With
yeah.
the things that you are in
That's a great
control of.
little exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things we're not in control of, isn't it? Dale, isn't there? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's a good one.
That's just one
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And making, I guess, in business, I've learned somehow, don't know how, but I've learned to compartmentalize a lot more now. So I can have a problem over
Mhm.
here, and move forward and deal with this issue over here, and leave that one there.
Well,
I like
yeah,
that.
to a healthy degree. What you don't want
A
to
healthy
do is
degree.
have all of those things add up, and then what happens to how stressed you are.
Yeah.
Something in addition to that you could perhaps use is allowing yourself time to be stressed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, and I can really only speak for myself, but I know when I am experiencing a heightened level of stress, I become less productive in what I'm doing.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's counterproductive to what I'm actually trying to achieve, not being
Yes.
more stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So, what would you say to somebody that is in the midst of like everything's kind of on their shoulders right now? Would you suggest something like that, journaling or writing down and kind of eliminating things that are not in your control? Is there anything else that you would suggest?
Yeah. Well, again, you've just said two of them. Journal, write things down, um, talk. Like you and I are doing right now, have a
Yeah.
conversation with somebody. You know what it is, on a podcast, or whatever it is, with a family member or loved one, whoever it is, and
Yeah.
to evidence that an age-old saying of a problem shared is a problem halved.
True. And that's the
Have
whole
those
point
things.
in Help Me Build My Business Australia when that was oh, we've got a comment, Leanne. Love that, Dale. Permission to feel stress. Yeah.
Thanks, Leanne.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it boils down to, beyond a title, beyond what you do for work. If you draw everything back to its purest form, you're a person, right? I don't care who you are. Well, I do care, but it's irrelevant.
Mhm.
And because of that, you're going to feel. Accept that. Yeah, a level of acceptance will actually help with the way you feel.
Mhm. Now that makes a lot of sense. I like that. Yeah.
I
Um,
don't know, something else I'm thinking, strategies that you can engage in the moment. So something I quite like to utilize is progressive muscle relaxation.
what is that?
Progressive muscle relaxation is where you gradually tense tense, not to the point of strain though, different or all the parts of your body,
Mhm.
one after the other, and release.
Yeah.
What that does is it brings all of this tension that you have and let go. If we have time, and if you'd like to, at the end of the session, perhaps after the questions, I actually have a script on my computer. I'll I'd happily
Oh, cool.
read that out if people want to engage in a progressive muscle relaxation exercise.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. And I think touching what you said before about talking things out, sometimes family and friends don't understand on the same level as somebody that's in a similar position as you. And that's the point of groups like Help Me Build My Business Australia, or other groups that are on Facebook or in your local area. Making connections with people that understand a bit more deeply. Like, for example, if you have a service-based business, like I have 2 service-based businesses, those businesses have a lot of staff. And so it's helpful for me to have friends in the same industries who have staff as well, or, have the same sort of structure to their business. I find that helpful because you do truly know that they understand. They're there with you. They're actually experiencing the same stuff.
It's relatability, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you can talk to somebody that you know and understand to have or be currently facing the same issues that you're facing, sharing those ideas, sharing those stresses, one, you're talking about it. So go back to that saying we spoke to before, problem shared is a problem half. But then beyond that, you can strategize amongst yourselves. If they're in the same industry, the same business, whatever it looks like, there's a great chance that they've encountered what it is you're encountering.
Yeah.
Why not speak to that somebody that's been there, done that, and won the t-shirt?
Yeah. No, you're right. Absolutely. I guess that's the point in like networking and involving yourself, feeling like you're part of a community, things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, take your pages as the Help Me Build My Business. How often do you see people commenting or talking to an issue that they're facing within that group, and they every single time they, including me, are inundated with help and support, and it's a beautiful thing to see. People coming together who don't know each other from Adam yet. You know what it is? Here's something I've experienced. You may find this useful.
Yeah, 100%. That's the best part about the group. I find that it is very welcoming, and people get in to help each other when it's needed. It's a really good thing.
Again, it's that sense of community, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So another thing that I hear a lot from my business partner, Nicole, is that she doesn't function well without going for a walk each day. It's a big thing for her. That's, her natural stress reliever. I'd love to hear from people in the audience, what they find helpful. It'd be really interesting. Music is something for me. I like listening to music, especially when I work. But yeah, like what's something for you personally that you find helpful? Like a practice that you do every day to it could be just like a coffee.
Maybe not every day. But I love to play pickleball.
Oh yes, I do know about your pickleball. We've had a meetup and we've talked a lot about pickleball. I now know what pickleball is.
For anybody that knows me, we'll be having a giggle at that as well.
Yeah,
it's a thing to talk about. But as far as what it sounds like you're talking to here, Tabitha, are resilience building strategies, and I think Leanne's just commented there. Meditation has helped me, and that is absolutely wonderful. And whatever your answer is, it's right.
Yeah.
Because if you're able to identify what helps you with stress, what helps you with anxiety, what helps you with whatever, that's perfect because it works for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Outside of pickleball, something I have really always tried to do is leave my emails on 0 at the end of the day. I get a real sense of satisfaction from not seeing any number associated with my email account.
I wish I had that. embedded in me. Corinne says, when I'm really stressed about a job, I walk away from it for a period of time and go back to it later, which is smart. Oh, yeah.
And it
You're not
is
in the right
because
headspace.
yeah. Well, what's that? What is that going to do? It's going to allow you to formulate a proper plan, a proper action plan to, I don't want to say attack, but conquer whatever it is that you're challenged by or stressed by.
Yeah. Super smart. Oh, Roy. Roy's one of our biggest supporters in Help Me Build My Business Australia. We love Roy. And in anything we do, to be honest, Roy's always, amazing. Finding a quiet space with my office supervisor. Do you know who Roy's office supervisor is, Dayle?
I don't.
You don't? Oh, gee.
Is it his profile picture as Cat?
Yeah, that would be Dougie, the office supervisor. Yeah, he's great. You need to spend more time in the group. You'll see a few pictures of Dougie. Roy,
yeah.
I understand that Dayle has an office supervisor as well at his house.
Yeah, I've actually put him outside with his dinner tonight. If I'd known we were going to be comparing animals, I'd have brought him in. He could have sitting here with me.
Leanne Michelle says breath work and the beach.
Beach, completely agree with the beach. I am also all over the beach, Michelle. Breath work. Michelle, I don't know what breath work exactly you engage in, but if it isn't this is also another good strategy, something called box breathing. Have you ever heard of box breathing, Tabitha?
I think you've said it to me before.
Okay. That's unsurprising. For those of you who don't know what box breathing is, it's essentially 4 seconds each. So you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and rest for 4 seconds.
Oh, yes.
Do that for as long as you're comfortable with. Box breathing.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, no, Leanne Michelle, she should share a bit about what breath work she does. Leanne's going to be doing a upcoming episode here at 11 hours, so that's going to be awesome. Maybe she'll talk a bit about that as well. How do you, if you were going to, I'm going to go back to the first sort of question that I asked you. I don't set questions tonight. This is just me just saying what I think at the time. I said to you, how would you set somebody up for a new business owner? What would you say to them with relation to how they should manage their stress? How would you say to manage your resilience or build resilience? How would you use?
Well, I think something that is fairly important to talk about is realistic expectations. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And I think moving on from that and linking it with the resilience building strategies, and I'll ask you and the audience, I suppose, what is the first thing people typically do when they're experiencing a heightened level of stress, a heightened level of anxiety?
Well, for me, I get really, I say the wrong things. I'm quick, I get like, I've got to fix everything. I've got to get it sorted. I get into action mode, to be honest, but I am very direct in those moments, definitely. Nicole, my business partner at Your Freedom to Choose, knows that. But she's similar too in that way. That's me when I'm in a
relationship that works. What about the things you enjoy? So I'll get to it. Typically speaking, regarding the things people enjoy, whether it be pickleball, whether it be going to the beach, having a dance, that's generally the first thing that goes out of the window. Don't have time, I'm too stressed, I'm too anxious, I've got to do this, I've got my business, I've got to do this, that, and that. And it's actually the worst thing you could do is to stop doing the things that you enjoy. So if I were to give somebody that piece of advice, well, it would be those two pieces of advice, actually. One, it is going to be difficult. And I think anticipating that it's going to be difficult will set you up better than it would if you thought this was going to be easy. Secondary to that is keep doing the things that you enjoy, because like you, I own my business, and like I'm sure a few people watching, they own their business, or they're just hard workers in stress-fueled environments. Keep doing the things that you enjoy. I don't care what it is. Like I said, could be going to the beach, going for the dance, playing pickleball, taking time out and going for a walk where possible, as Amanda said. All of it's great stuff. Mindful walking. A couple of people have mentioned walking now, but go for a mindful walk.
Yeah, I actually went down. I was in Newtown, and I went down to the water there, and I saw people running, bike riding, rowing past, all this exciting stuff. And I thought to myself, I thought that, isn't it amazing? These people are actually being mindful with what they're doing. You know, they're like making time for themselves. But it's very easy as a parent or as a business owner to ignore that part of yourself because people need you. I thought that I don't know, it just came to me yesterday when I was down there. It made me think, what am I doing for myself every day or every week?
What do you do for yourself?
What do I do? Oh, this is a tricky one. See, I'm guilty of being one of those workaholics who just keep on going, right? But I do love to write, and I found a love for painting. I don't do it enough. I find my hairdresser Stacey, right? She's really awesome. She's a good friend of mine also. I make an appointment with her, and I make sure, because I'll always keep an appointment, right? So I'm not even a hair person, but I make it a point that every 8 weeks I go see Stacey. It's very important to me. I can't break it, you know? So I think for someone like me that's easy to let go of her writing and her art, it's important for me to put structure into my self-care. Yeah, that's what I found. Oh, Roy, when my stress is elevated, my anxiety follows. The worst part is feeling I am not in control and fear unforeseen events occurring.
I'd like that. I'm going to plug myself for a second here, Tabitha. If somebody, I can't do it, but if somebody could post a link to my website, on there you'll find a complimentary wellbeing pack, I think it's called. But for those of you who don't want to do it, if you've got a piece of paper handy, I'll give you a second to grab one. And this is not a strategy, an activity that I like to do in some of my sessions. Yeah. And I think it's gonna help Roy and perhaps others. Yeah. Get a piece of paper and fold it in half.
I got a piece of paper.
About a third of the size of the paper. I want you to draw a triangle, like so.
Okay.
Yep. At the top point of the triangle, I want you to write thoughts. At the bottom right, I'd like you to write feelings. And then the bottom left, I'd like you to write behavior. So it should look something like that.
Right. Yep.
I want you to then do exactly the same underneath on the bottom half of the paper. Roy, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to explain why your feelings, your heightened levels of stress and whatnot lead to feeling anxious. And I say you, but what I actually mean is anybody. And by anybody, I mean anytime you feel something, it's because you've thought something before that. Could be an automatic thought, might not be. That's okay. Anyways, going back to the paper, should look something like that. Yeah, perfect. That's my website. Thanks, 11 hour. Then what I'd like you to do is write situation at above the triangle. Can you see that?
Situation. Yeah.
Write down whatever the situation is that's making you feel anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is. What might have been... Tabitha, would you care to engage in this? And it can be a live demonstration of...
Yeah, I was going to, and then I was like, I don't have a pen.
No, you don't need to. You tell me. And what I can maybe do is after the session, I can take a picture of what we've done within the live session and show the people who are watching exactly what it is we're talking to.
Okay, yeah.
So what causes you a level of stress or anxiety?
Oh, gee. Well, I have an issue at the moment. My daughter is having trouble going to school. That's caused me a lot of stress.
Daughter going to school?
And she's only just gone back to school, so she's had a period of time of being homeschooled. So that's been a challenge.
Okay. What thoughts are you having surrounding that?
Sorry?
What thoughts are you having surrounding that?
That I'd like her to have the same opportunities as other kids because my daughter has a disability. She has autism. I'd like her to have more opportunity to attend a mainstream school as opposed to being homeschooled because she doesn't fit in a classroom environment, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So the two thoughts, and I'll tell you, like I tell anybody I ever engage with, if I get this wrong, that's okay. I'm human. I will make mistakes. But so far, I've written down, I wish she could have the same opportunities. I wish she could attend a mainstream school.
Yes.
What
else? She does. Well, she's had some bullying, so I would like her not to have any bullying when she's at school. That would be awesome, actually.
Yep. Can I get one more? Give me one more.
Oh, okay. I would like her to be able to be independent from me and able to be in a social situation with other kids her own age.
You'd like her to be independent?
From me, yeah. So like not, like that she can be in the community without me there and be functioning and okay, yeah.
Okay, so you've already identified, before we even got into this, you identified feelings of stress.
Mm-hmm.
What else? How else does it make you feel? So I'm just going to read back the things you've told me. I wish she could have the same opportunities. I wish she wasn't being bullied. I would like her to be independent for me. I wish she could attend a mainstream school. Make you feel stressed. How else does it make you feel?
It makes me feel worried. Because as a mum of a child with a disability, you often worry about the future and how this would affect her in the future.
What else? How else does it make you feel?
Frustrated, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one more.
And probably not heard. So, not understood, I guess. Does that make sense?
Is not feeling heard a thought?
Oh, probably not.
No, I think
yeah, I guess I feel sad for her. Yeah.
Okay. And what is your typical behavior as a result of this?
I'm an action mum, so like I do whatever I can to help her be accommodated and supported.
Be supported. Okay.
Yeah.
So far we've got feeling stressed, worried, frustrated, and sad for her. And the subsequent behavior of this is I'll do whatever it takes for her to be supported. which is really, really interesting because generally speaking, whenever I normally do this, the behavior in this part is typically seen as a negative. In this case, I think it demonstrates that you're an absolutely loving mom. And there's absolutely no negatives about that. I think not even concerns, but if we go to your feelings, what we can see is if we were to look at a Likert scale, if you like, it perhaps falls on the lower end of that. And it's not ideal to feel stressed, worried, and frustrated and sad for your daughter. Yeah. So, in regards to your daughter going to school, all I'm going to ask you to do here is challenge the way you're thinking. Like, what are some alternative ways you could go about this situation? So, instead of, I wish she could attend a mainstream school, what's an alternative to that?
There's none, unfortunately, because her IQ is too high. The only alternative is to homeschool, really. Yeah.
Okay. But could an alternative be that it's okay she doesn't attend a mainstream school?
I guess, yeah, that's true. And I also feel that it's okay that we do things the way we are right now, which is kind of she goes part-time or some days a week, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. That works for now. But, it would be nice if she was able to grow from that eventually.
Yeah, eventually. That's later down the line, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Keep going, keep rolling with that line of thoughts, though. It's okay. The way we're doing things right now is fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not causing anyone any problems. It's just, it's like you can't. She'll never fit perfectly at school, and that's okay. That's something that I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And school will never fit her perfectly. That's the thing. Be flipping it around and going, hey, like.
And you're nailing it. You're absolutely nailing it. It is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to do rather is I'm going to read these new thoughts you've identified.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd just like you to tell me how they would likely make you feel. First one. It's okay she doesn't go to mainstream school. It's fine. Mm-hmm. We've still got plenty of time later down the track to look and address that if we need to.
Yeah.
Things aren't causing any issues. The way we do things right now is fine. It is okay. And it's okay that school doesn't fit her. It's not that she doesn't fit the school. School just doesn't suit her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How would that make you feel?
That makes me feel relieved, and I think that that's a really cool exercise. I love that.
I get two more feelings from you.
Sorry?
I get 2 more feelings from you.
Oh, what do you want to know about school and her not?
Yeah, if you're feeling relieved, what else are you feeling?
Oh, okay. I'm feeling like, happier about that, and more content with our decisions.
Perfect. Yeah. At the end of the activity, it should look something like that. And I'm only going to take a picture and post this if you are okay with that.
Definitely. Such a clear issue.
What did I ask you to do? I mean, apart from literally everything, what was the only one thing I asked you to change?
It's like just to change the perspective, I guess.
Change your way you're thinking about it. It's exactly that's key. And it doesn't matter whether it's talking about your daughter going to school. It doesn't matter if it's whatever it is. The way, if you ever experience any feeling, I'm telling you now, it has always stemmed from the way you're thinking about it.
That makes so much sense. I wonder if other people can relate to that. If you do, just let us know, because I know in business and in just personal life.
That's it. This can be attributed to business. It can be attributed to personal, whatever it is you do. I
Yeah.
also apologise. That might have took up a bit more time than I originally anticipated.
No, we've got plenty of time. We've got another, a little bit more time. We were going to do an hour. That's our thing, the 11-11 hour. Only talks for an hour. So I guess the next thing that we were going to kind of talk about was maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Now, we kind of have touched on that, keeping some of the things that we enjoy in our schedule when we start a business or when we're like keeping that as a constant. But I think also consistency is another issue that we all face. I personally am terrible at consistency when it comes to that sort of stuff. Oh, Marcus has popped a question up.
Nailed it. That's exactly what it is, Marcus. Who doesn't love a bit of CV?
Great. Yeah. Have you met Marcus? I think you have met Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Marcus is an awesome counsellor. Leanne. There's always
a shadow.
when there's a shadow. And there's shadow.
There is no shadow without light, is there? Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's beautiful. That's perfect. Perfectly explained. Questioning and challenging our thoughts is powerful, Marcus says. Yeah, it is. I've never done that before, and that's a really cool exercise, especially when it's a big issue that you've got that you're finding hard to even like concentrate on. To put it down on paper like that, that's smart. Yeah.
Well, and I think whilst it's a great activity, it perhaps also acts as a distraction strategy too.
Yeah.
It requires you to actively think about the way you're thinking and actively thinking about the way you're feeling, actively thinking about the way you're behaving. And as a result of that, if they don't align with the way you're wanting to think, feel, or behave, you're very likely going to do something about it.
It makes a lot of sense. Back to consistency. So how do you build a consistent pattern? Like how do you stay on target when it comes to your work-life balance?
Well, it's a bit of a difficult question to answer because I think everybody's different, right? And I think everybody requires different levels of that balance. Like some people, for example, may use work as their self-care strategy. I think to a point that is healthy, but I think if you overdo it, it could become unhelpful.
Yeah. I went to a workshop once in Geelong, okay, and it was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it was with Deb Fribbins, who's an awesome mentor, business mentor. And she said something that stayed with me, and it was that if it's important to you that you have 1 month off a year, like say that's what you want to do, make sure you factor that into your numbers so then you've got no reason not to have that 1 month off or whatever amount of time it is. And that's something that I hadn't really thought of until then. I know it sounds simple, but there are things we can do like that as business owners.
100%. And I think it's planning, right? I think it is planning. Something I find very, very useful, and again, this is just for me, something I find useful, is that I like to have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Because when you dial it back to increased levels of stress or whatever it looks like for you, having that somebody spoke about it a second ago, that light at the end of the tunnel, if you like.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an assisted driving force to help you carry on, continue with what it is that you're doing, because in 4 weeks' time, I'm going to have a long weekend.
Yeah, you like to travel, don't you, Dayle?
I love to travel.
Where's your next destination?
Funny enough, I don't have a holiday coming up, but my partner and I were gifted a weekend away by some friends and their partners, and we really need to book that in. And ironically, at the minute, I don't have that something to look forward to. So I've now just triggered myself to, once I finish here at 9 o'clock, I'm going to jump off and I'm going to go and have a chat with my partner about booking something in.
Yeah. Good plan. Yeah. Good plan. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I'll have to have a look at the comments actually and see what's happening over there. So Roy says, oh, hang on, we've got one on the screen. Corinne says, I'm having next week off because it's my daughter's formal. Next week is about her, which is perfect. That's what it's all about. The things that are important to us must fit into our work schedules. It's easy not to. It's easy to have great intentions, but if you don't actually mindfully take that time, I find somebody suffers. So it's important. It's important.
I think continuing to have a sense of identity it's not even important. It's absolutely vital. Like, yeah, you run your own business, or yeah, you work within a business. That's absolutely fantastic. But I think it's imperative that you remember, like, that is not your identity. That is not who you are. You are the mother or a father or a brother, a sister, a friend, or whatever. You're not I am not a psychologist. I work as a psychologist. That is not my identity. And I suppose that ties in with a point you raised earlier about that separation.
Yeah. I also learnt recently from a counsellor that works with us at Your Freedom to Choose. She said something, and I can't remember exactly how she said it. You correct me if I'm wrong. But not to forget that we are more than just one part. So we're broken up into parts. So, like, I'm a mum. Yes, we can even go down through, I like to help people down to the things that I do on an active basis. There's lots of parts to me. So it's not like if there's don't focus in on the thing that you don't like about yourself the most. There's lots of other parts. That's her whole thing. I thought that was really interesting.
I think it's a great point. Sorry, I've just realised Leanne's commented there's a small business owner, you need to book your own self-care before anyone else. Set your non-negotiable boundaries. Yes. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I suppose a saying that I quite like is, how can you take care of somebody or something else if you can't take care of yourself? Whether it's your client, your business, your whatever it is, your child, your whatever. How can you take care of them if you can't take care of yourself?
Sure. I mean, I was terrible when that first business. I was really terrible, and just worked. The second one, we started it on in a really good mindset. I knew that I was only going to work a couple of days a week. That was really important. Work in my business a couple of days a week. And that's really a strategy that's worked well too, to treat the business like it was sort of at the level I expected it to get to from the very beginning, and to work as if I was at that point from the very beginning. I don't know. It's helped me at least.
And this is it. And again, yes, that is the right answer. And it's the right answer because you're identifying that it's worked for you.
Yeah.
I think in these moments, and why I said earlier, it's like, that's actually a really difficult question to answer because everybody's different.
It's nice to see people commenting and saying that they love the live and they're enjoying it. It's really good. Thank you for supporting this first go. Like, we're not experts. Cherry's not an expert. I'm not an expert. Dale's first time as well. So all the comments that I'm seeing come up are incredible, and we're so grateful. You have no idea. And for everyone that listens to the replay, because I know there's a lot that want to listen to the replay. I want to just say that at this point. Yeah. So I think for us, Dayle, I guess I would really like, right mindset is the key. Yes, absolutely. you don't actually for me, I've learned you don't actually have to work like a machine. You've just got to work smart and be quite targeted in your approach. I don't know if that helps people, but I found that that's the difference between our first business and second business. Both very successful, both amazing, but I got very sick building the first business. So I had a pulmonary embolism, which was a big deal. So that taught me that I was working a little bit too hard. But yeah, Roy, financial security goes a long way to setting a foundation for change. Financial insecurity magnifies most issues needing to be resolved. What's your thought on this? What do you think, Dayle?
I'll let you take that one. What do you think?
So I think you're right. I think he's right. Financial insecurity magnifies most issues needing to be resolved. Yeah, I think he's trying to. What we're saying is, when I don't know if I'm getting this right, Roy. Let me know. But when you're working towards something and you know that it's something that you can't, like, you have to get right. You've put everything on the line, I guess. I'm speaking a bit personal here. You've literally put everything you've got into something and you need to make it work. It's easy to forego your own self-care. I don't know. I'm probably
It's easy to what? Sorry, you cut out.
So it's easy to forgo your self-care. Like if you've got a target that's like a financial target, I guess, and you've got insecurities around that. I don't know if it's flashed off now. I can't see the question, but that's what I read from that. Here we go. Financial security goes a long way to setting a foundation for change. Okay. So what do you reckon? What do you think, Dayle?
Well, no, I agree.
Am I wrong?
Because I interpreted that the same way, and I think you are financially insecure, do have, let's call it, all of your eggs in one basket. That is naturally going to cause, issues.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Again, if we are talking about financial insecurity having an adverse effect on the way you're feeling.
Roy's actually helped us out here. If you feel secure, decision-making comes a lot easier. That is true.
Roy. I feel like both of us were maybe somewhat mumbling our way through that, and you've just cleared that up an absolute grin.
Perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, decision-making is a lot easier when somebody feels secure. Whether that's concerned with finances or anything.
Yeah. Because you can make some pretty poor decisions when you're under pressure and you're feeling insecure about something or you're a little out of control.
No, absolutely. And I think it's perhaps in those moments, or maybe even before those moments, utilizing some of the strategies that have been commented in your chats earlier, so important. It's imperative.
Yeah.
Going for that walk, taking that time out. Forgive me.
So important. So important. I don't do enough of it. But this is encouraging me. So it's a really good discussion. So I appreciate your time, Dayle. We've got 10 minutes to go. I really wanted to find out a bit about what you've got going on with your program and who it helps and what it is.
Yeah. So if it's okay, I'll talk rather to the business than only the program. My business you can say that it's split into three components. The first is, and actually only last week, I became a mental health first aid accredited facilitator. So that means that I can now teach mental health first aid, which is absolutely awesome. The second part is, which one should we go with? Individual therapy. So I offer a triaging service, if you like, within organizations. So that was developed on the back of a number of programs that I have also developed, which I deliver again in organizations. Now, these programs are for people experiencing levels of stress, anxiety, low mood, loneliness, and you, Tabitha, have been an absolute gem in helping me develop some brochures for them.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you so much. I do not have a creative bone in my body, so having somebody like you is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
so-
we met at the Geelong Small Business Network online meetup and connected there, and then we just help each other, don't we?
Yeah, and quick shout out to Matthew. Thank you to him for introducing us, because if it wasn't for him, we likely wouldn't be here.
Exactly. That online meetup was the reason why we got to connect, and we've been able to spend a couple of coffee meetups together and learn a bit more about each other and what we do and how we can support our clients. I run a disability organisation, Your Freedom to Choose. You run your thing and your programs. So it's been really awesome.
Yeah. These programs, there's 4 of them for Well at Work, developed for organizations and specifically teams that are experiencing heightened levels of stress within their organization. I have another for specifically for NDIS participants. I have another for carers carers of NDIS participants, which, to my knowledge, I don't think there is much, if any, support out there for the carers of participants, which is it's sad, because it's them people that we've just identified this, experience heightened levels of stress across the span.
Right.
It would be difficult. I won't sit here and pretend I know how it feels, because I absolutely don't. But from the stories that I've heard and from what I do understand, it will be difficult, and you deserve that support. And if I can just be a drop in the ocean for that support, I'm happy to be that drop.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Roy says time for a Zoom meeting and coffee. I reckon we can do that. You haven't met Roy? He's awesome.
No, I haven't. I've heard so much about you, Roy. I haven't met you, though. And then lastly, my last program is for support workers. Again, people who are employed to support participants, because, I suppose the saying that I like to use is supporters need supporting too, right? It doesn't matter who you are, but programs that I've developed.
Yeah, well, you've actually, the carers are. It's alarming how little support there are for carers, or education around this, and support workers as well. So you've really zeroed into 2 different categories there that really do need support, and these strategies that you teach. So I think that they're going to be great. So hopefully you get a lot of carers and support workers.
Hopefully, and if anybody does have any questions at all, I welcome you to reach out to me at any point, and I will do my best to answer any questions you may have. Sorry, part 2 with Dayle in the future question mark caught my attention. I was like, oh my God, just let me get over this one first.
We'll give you a week. How about online? Is this a program that you can run online? Because we have people.
At the moment, it isn't, but I have had a lot of conversations with you. And I've just today actually had a conversation with somebody else about making this training into an online training. So for me, it's about accessibility, the accessibility of support. And if me getting it online means I'm going to...
We have a message from Jade that just flashed off. I'm sorry to jump in. We've got Jade in the She's a support worker, and she's going to check out your website. So that's
Yeah,
good.
Jade, if you've got any questions, again, shoot me an email, call me, text me, send a pigeon, whatever you like. If I can help you out, I really will.
Yeah, but there are a lot of, you do need to tap into the online, because there are a lot of people working as support workers, and so many, obviously, carers around the country who could benefit.
And I suppose it comes to capacity, doesn't it? The capacity to be able to go and attend, in my case, a 2 to 3 hour workshop. Not everybody can do that because they have all of these other stresses going on in their life. And as I was saying, if I can just help anybody, I will always do that.
Yeah, that's right. Great. Okay, well, thank you for coming on. I'm so happy that you chose to do it, and you actually put your hand up first as number one, which was awesome. And yeah, I think tonight's been really successful. All the comments, so many comments. Oh my goodness, I'm just so grateful for everyone who has commented and who has just stayed for the hour. We're so grateful.
You're too kind.
Yeah. And yeah, everyone that's saying thanks, and everyone that's saying, I know there's a comment here from Anthea saying, wonderful to hear about support for carers. You are correct. Although NDIS increased supports for participants, carer supports dwindled and got forgotten. So there is a big hole in the system for carers. That's true. Yeah.
It's sad. It's difficult, but again, if you and I can just be a drop in the ocean, I'm sure we'll do it, and happily do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I wonder if Cherry's going to come back and say our goodbyes.
Sorry?
I wonder if Cherry's going to come back and say something at the end. I'm not even sure. Is she going to come back? We haven't planned anything. So come on, Cherry.
Yeah,
she's still silent. She's muted. Anyway, it was awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for spending an hour with us on a Tuesday night. Next week, we have Amanda Nicole. She's awesome. She's like the queen of social media. So she's going to be answering all our burning questions about social media and how we're going to up our social media game. So please definitely come on for that. We look forward to it.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.